Hello children, good day. So, today we are continuing with the same topic, why do we need a parliament. At the second section on page number 34, we are going to see the role of the parliament. Okay. So, as I have explained in the last class, the parliament in our system has immense power. It is a very important law making body because the MPs there are being the representatives of the people. Now, how this parliament is formed? So, for that purpose, the whole nation is divided into different constituencies. So, how many constituencies are there? The number of the constituency is equal to the number of the seat in the Rajya Sabha. So, how many seats are there in the Rajya Sabha? In Rajya Sabha, the total seat is 545, out of which 2 members, 543 are elected members and 2 members are nominated by the President from the Anglo-Indian community. So, in that sense, there are 545 seats and so there will be 545 constituencies. So, election will be held in all these 543 constituencies and one representative will be selected to the central government, and those elected representatives, those who are selected to the center, is known as member of parliament or MPs. So, these member of parliament will be coming from different political parties and these members together will form the parliament, that is the law making body at the center. Okay. Now, once the parliament, then parliament is selected for a period of 5 years, that is a tenure of the parliament. Once the parliament is elected, the parliament has to perform certain functions. So, the next aspect that we are going to see is the functions of parliament. So, what are the functions of parliament? You have learned, as you know, the first and the foremost function of the parliament is to select the national government. The first and foremost function is to select the national government. Second function of the parliament is to control, guide and inform the government. The second function of the parliament is to control, guide and inform the government. And the third function of the parliament, which is the most important function of the parliament, is the law making for the country. They make the laws for the country. So, what are the functions of the parliament? And repeat again: to select the national government, second to control, guide and inform the government, and third one the law making for the country. Now, components of the parliament. So, what are the components of the parliament? The parliament consists of 3 components, or it consists of the President, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. So, the Parliament of India consists of President, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Now, after contesting the election and how the national government is formed. So, once the parliament is formed and how the national government is formed. So, election is over, the MPs are selected, the list of the MPs will be taken. And from that list, they will see which political party is having maximum number of MPs, or in other words, which political party has secured majority in the parliament. So, a clear majority is made when that particular party is getting more than half of the seat in the Lok Sabha. So, clear majority is being obtained by a party when the party is obtaining half or more than half of the seat in the Lok Sabha. So, the total seat is 543. So, the maximum, the half of the seat or the maximum or the majority is obtained by the party only when it secures 272 seats. So, when the party obtains 272 seats, we say that the party has a clear majority. So, when the party acquires a clear majority, that party will form the government. The party which obtains a clear majority will form the government, and they are known as ruling party. The party which obtains clear majority forms the government and they are known as the ruling party. And the rest is known as the opposition party. Those who are opposing to the ruling party is opposition party. It always corrects or points out or criticizes all the policies that has been made by the ruling party, so that the ruling party is getting an opportunity to correct its policy, or it helps to prevent the overpowering of the ruling party. So there will be a check and balance in the democratic system of the country. Clear? So in the national government there will be ruling party and opposition party. Ruling party is the party which gets the majority in the election or majority number of seats in the parliament, and the rest of the party will form the opposition party. And the leader of the ruling party is the prime minister. The leader of the ruling party is the prime minister, and the prime minister is the one who distributes, who gives the portfolios or duties to the ministers. He selects the ministers and he assigns duties to the minister. He is the leader of the ruling party. So the most important function of the Lok Sabha is to select the executive. They will select the executives. And who are the executives? Executives are the ministers who are implementing the policies that has been adopted by the government. Executives are the group of ministers who are implementing the policies. So the most important function of the Lok Sabha is to select the executives, and the prime minister is the leader of these executives, and prime minister assigns duties to each minister, or in other words, prime minister assigns portfolio to each ministers, like health portfolio to health minister, education portfolio to education minister, like that. Now what if no single party is getting a majority? What will happen if a single party is not getting majority? So the government cannot be formed or not? So there is another solution that has been described in our constitution with regard to this. That is, if a single party is not getting majority, a clear majority, all the winning parties will come together under a mutual agreement. All the winning parties will come together under a mutual agreement, and they together form a government, and such government is known as coalition government. Understood? When no single party is getting a clear majority, all the parties that has won the election will come together to make a government, and such government is known as coalition government. Clear? Now coming to the next one, Rajya Sabha. So Lok Sabha is over. Now Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha means it is a representatives of the states. Rajya Sabha, the members in the Rajya Sabha are the representatives of the states. And in Indian Rajya Sabha there are 245 members. In Rajya Sabha 245 members means 245 representatives from the states. And out of the 245 representatives, 233 representatives are elected representatives. And who will elect? The members of the Lok Sabha will elect the Rajya Sabha members. And 12 members are nominated by the President. Clear? So Rajya Sabha is a representatives of the state. 245 total members are there, out of which 233 are indirectly elected by the people, or in other words, they are elected by the members of Lok Sabha, and 12 members are nominated by the President. Clear? Now the second function, controlling or informing or guiding the government. How it is possible for the parliament to control, to inform, to guide the government? So always the parliament begins with a question hour. You might have seen in the TV and all, the session of the parliament always begins with question hour. So the ministers will stand up and ask the questions, or they will inform about everything what is happening around, and the concerned minister is responsible to answer to all these. So that section is question hour. The question hour is considered as the most important way through which the parliament controls the executives. So, by asking questions or by pinpointing the defects etc., they are just trying to correct the policies of the government. So, question hour is very important in the functioning of a parliament. Then in the question hour they will inform the government about the functioning or the opinion of the people etc. So, this particular session in the parliament, they will control the government, guide the government and also inform government about the people's opinion and all. Now, the third function that I told is with regard to the law making. That is the most important function of a parliament, that is law making. The parliament, they enact bill, and once the bill has been passed in the Rajya Sabha, it is sent to Rajya Sabha and they have to get the assent of the Rajya Sabha, and after that the president will sign it and that bill will become a law. So, all the three components of the parliament are involved in the law making process, and this law making process is the most important function of the parliament. Clear? Now, coming to the last section of the topic, that is with regard to the people. Who all are the people? Representatives of the people in the parliament. So, all the section of the society have equal representation in the parliament. So, the parliament have more and more people from different backgrounds. For example, there are members from the rural areas which represent different political parties. Then there are Dalits, SC, ST, people from the backward classes who were suffering all the who are suffering the marginalization. Historically they are being marginalized. They are being set aside from the mainstream. So, these people are also given an apt chance in our parliament. They are Dalits, backward, that is SC, STs. Then now onwards, the women are also given representation in the parliament. So, the people in the parliament represent from different parts of the country, different varieties of the sections, all are having equal representation in the parliament. So, that is all about today's topic. So, we have deal with how the parliament is being formed, what are the functions of the parliament. Parliament is formed by selecting MPs from each constituencies, and these MPs together will form and they will become the parliament. And once the parliament is formed, list of the MPs from different political parties are marked, and the maximum, those party which have got the maximum number of seats is selected as the ruling party, and the rest will form the opposition party. In case there is if no party is not able to get a clear majority, what will happen? All the parties that has won the election will come together under a mutual agreement and form the government, which is known as the coalition government. Then we have seen that the Prime Minister is the head of the executives or parliament. He decides the portfolios, he assigns the portfolios. Then through the question hour session, the parliament can guide, control and even inform the executives, and the law making is the most important function of a parliament. Then the people involved in the parliament are the people, rural members from different rural parties, then Dalits, backward minorities etc., who all are historically marginalized. They are now included in the parliament, and even the seats are booked or the reserve for women in India. So, that is all about today's video. Thank you. Thank you, children.